I told you I think Sunday is going to be my nature day, my hiking outside day. And again, I'm here from Signal Hill, just a different spot. See, I don't know if you can see there. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful day, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about UFC Fight Night. I believe it's 7 in Las Vegas. It just happened last night. And again, as I always repeat myself, I hope you saw it because the event was amazing. Amazing. We had 5 events on the main card, 4 finishes, 3 of them in the first round, 1 of them in the second round. Okay, the whole event happened in like an hour and a half. If you blinked, you missed it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, there was a lot of last minute changes. We had, I believe, OSP, I believe, tested positive for corona. Someone let me know if that's true. Did OSP test positive for coronavirus, which is why we didn't see that co-main event. Either way, I only ended up making 4 picks on the main card. And if you're wondering where I made them on Twitter and Instagram. So I told you have to follow me everywhere. So I made 4 picks, and out of those 4 picks, I actually got 3. So it was not a bad night for me. So let's go ahead and get into it. For the first fight on the main card, her opening fight here, I did not make a pick on this one, but let's go ahead and mention it because it was an amazing fight. For the few little seconds that it lasted, we saw Daniel Rodriguez, who I believe this is his first year in the UFC, get his 3rd win in a row against Dwight Grant. This happened again in the first round, and he was getting his butt whooped. It was Dwight who landed first, dropped him, was all over him. He stood back up, got dropped again, was covering himself. Actually looked like the ref was going to stop the fight at one point in time, but he let it go. Rodriguez was able to get back up, get his wits about him. Actually, as soon as he popped back up, he swung and hit Dwight, dropped Dwight. Then he got all over Dwight, backed him up against the cage, dropped him up against the fence. He popped back up, dropped him again, and it was done. Ref stopped the fight. It was a great stoppage. It was a great little 2 minutes, I think it was there. Who would you like to see Daniel Rodriguez fight next? I believe he is. Again, he's 33 years old, but he's actually a rookie in the UFC, coming in hot. Who would you like him to fight next? Now, next up, getting into the first of my actual picks. This is the one that I did not get. I chose Maria Agapova to beat Shana Dobson. She did not, and Shana Dobson had to get this. She was coming off of a 3-fight losing streak, and she not only did she get this win, she came up big. So this, ended in the second round, but in the first round, Maria came out like a wild animal. I mean, she came out like she was literally fighting for her life, like Shana had a weapon or something. She was doing cartwheel kicks, trying to get into the guard. She was swinging wildly. She was so off balance, swinging so crazily that Shana was able to take her down. She was able to reverse it, tried to submit her. Shana was able to get out of that. So she won the first round just because she just blitzed her. Reckless abandonment, no control. Breathing heavily. I was like, if Shana is able to survive the first round, Agapova's going to lose. She's going to have nothing left. And that's what happened in the second round. Second round, Agapova had nothing left. She still tried. She was wanging them shots. Shana was able to get a takedown simply because she was off balance, basically. Or actually, no. Agapova actually took her down. Shana was able to reverse the position simply because she was off balance on top. She reversed that position, locked up on her arms, full amount, pounding away at the face. A lot of shots to the back of the head, by the way, but pounding away at the face. Agapova could not get out of it. Ref stopped the fight. This was a great win for Shana Dobson, which she needed. Flyweight division. Who would you like to see her fight next? Now, on to this next fight. I got this pick. This ended in the first round. I chose Joe Solecki to beat Austin Hubbard. He did. He's coming in hot as well. New face as well. He's actually got a lot of eyes on him, and he is one of my guys to watch. He looked sharp. First few seconds there, they were filling each other out. He landed some sharp, had some nice angles to his punches. He actually landed some kicks as well. Austin looked strong as well. They were going back and forth. They kind of clinched up a bit. And as they clinched up, it was Solecki who was able to get him up against the cage, and then he methodically worked his way on behind Austin, one leg onto his hip. Then he climbed up on him like climbing a tree. Then he worked his way up to the waist, got into the triangle guard. Then he started to beat on him so that Austin couldn't actually check the feet. So he's able to squeeze that guard in even tighter. Beat on him. Eventually slipped that wrist underneath the chin, rear naked choke, standing rear naked choke, tap. Who would you like to see Joe Solecki fight next? I think he's one of my guys to watch too. He's coming in hot, looks nice and sharp, and going to have a baby next month. So good win for him. Next up, this is the co-main event. I got this pick as well. I chose Mike Rodriguez, not Daniel from the first fight. Mike Rodriguez to beat Marcin Procchio. I think I said that wrong, but kind of right. And boy, did he win. He won this. This is slow Mike Rodriguez, by the way. And as Dominic Cruz says, I think we need to change it to methodical Mike Rodriguez because he's not slow at all. And he looked big. and strong. And I believe Shauna Dobson, by the way, is at Team Elevation. You can see the change by that. Anyway, on to Slow Mike. So he looked big and strong and in really good shape. So they were feeling each other out for a few seconds there in the first. They actually ended up clinched up, and it was Mike who actually got a lot of the clinch with a lot of knees, those Muay Thai knees to the body, to the head, and then he actually landed an elbow, which dropped him. It was a clean elbow to the temple, dropped Marcin. He got on top of him, 2 shots, boom, out even further. Sleep all the way out. First round, great win for Slow, but like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead with Dominic there and say methodical Mike Rodriguez. Who would you like to see him fight next? He looked great. Now, finally on to the main event, and I chose Frankie Edgar to beat Pedro Munhoz in this fight. I got this pick. It was a split decision, went all 5 rounds, and I'm not so sure I should have got the pick. I'm not so sure. I would have been okay with the draw, and I would have been okay with Pedro winning the fight. I saw it more than once. I looked at the stats. The first round, they're identical as far as stats landed. Second and third round were to Frankie. The second round was the most clear round for Frankie. He was mixing up the takedowns there, which got Munhoz to drop his hands, and Frankie was able to land a lot of right hands to the face, that is. He actually busted him up, had him bleeding from the face profusely, had him swollen up as well. It was definitely Pedro who was wearing the damage more, which is actually why I think he got this, or I think that he actually lost the fight. I think that might have swayed the judges, but as we know, the person who does the most damage doesn't necessarily win the fight. We know that. So again, let's go through this here. The first round, close, toss-up, could go either way. Second round, definitely Frankie Edgar. Now, Frankie Edgar went away from the wrestling, kind of got obsessed with the hitting. He was also backpedaling the whole time. He was fighting off his back foot the whole time, had his back against the cage. A lot of the time it was Pedro who landed the harder shots, the shots that actually kind of stunned Frankie, moved his body a little bit, made him dip a little bit. Those were definitely Pedro who landed those shots. But again, Frankie actually landed more combinations. There was about the first 2 rounds where Pedro was just pot-shotting. 1 shot here, 1 kick there. He did tear apart Frankie's lead leg. If he would have done that more and more consistently, I think he would have had Frankie hobbled by the 3rd round instead of the 4th and 5th, where we really saw Frankie having trouble moving on that leg. But it looks like he had already done enough by then, right? So he did tear apart that lead leg. He was landing harder, but it was Frankie who was landing in flurries. Every time Munhoz would land a shot, Frankie would return with like a 3-4 shot combination. I think that definitely swayed the judges. However, it was Pedro who held the center of the octagon, who was the ring general for majority of the fight, pushing the pace, walking him down, initiating a lot of the exchanges. So again, I got the pick, but I'm not so sure that I should have. So either way, great event. Please go back and watch the whole thing. Let me know what you thought, especially about that main event. Do you think Frankie Edgar should have won? He is in the bantamweight division now, 38 years old. He definitely has some left. He's definitely still a competitor and can contend for the belt. But do you think he actually won that fight? Why? If not, why? Who do you think should be next for Frankie Edgar and Pedro Munhoz for that matter? Give me any injury updates on the whole card. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I have things that I don't have on YouTube, like my predictions for this last event. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.